Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's so great to have you. Welcome, Momo. Welcome, Rachel. Welcome, Mike, and welcome, Ruth. Today, we're going to be talking about the most important relationship in life, which is your relationship with yourself. And I don't know if I'm the only one or if you experience this as well, Momo, Mike, Rachel, Ruth, or any of our viewers. Sometimes it can seem as if we have two voices in our head that are constantly going back and forth, and we're not sure which one is us, which one is external, which one we should be listening to, which one we shouldn't be listening to. And it's kind of deceiving. Am I right, guys?
All the
Yeah.
time.
For sure.
100%. So today we're going to discuss what are those two voices, what are the spiritual workings of those two voices, and how do we identify which one is our friend, which one is our bestie, which one is the closest to us, which one will help us, and which one really is out to get us and out to make us fall. So it can kind of be deceiving. And I just want to know, Momo, Rachel, Mike, or Ruth, have you guys ever had a relationship that's been deceiving in which you thought it was really good and it was going to be an amazing thing and it ended up being kind of difficult? Or did you ever have a relationship that was, you thought, nah, this is not really much, but it ended up being, a pretty significant relationship in your life? Anybody? Bueller?
I think we all have those kind of relationships.
100%. Ruth, maybe since you jumped on camera first, do you want to share your example of it?
Sure. Well, a couple of years ago, I had a best friend and I had a boyfriend.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, I don't have neither.
A best friend and a boyfriend. Okay.
Well, the story is that at the end they were like together. So yeah, I don't have.
Your best friend ended up
with my boyfriend.
With your boyfriend, and you were kind of.
How did that happen? Like, that's insane.
What
kind of like?
It was like baby steps. Like first, you start noticing they talk different, and then, one day I just caught them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, that's difficult. I'm just gonna throw in a different example on the other side of the spectrum, because again, we never know. We never know which side it is. We never know if the voice is deceiving us or if the voice is there to support us. I had a professor in college that came in like really head very high, proud, like the ones that you think are gonna like be the worst professors. And I was like, oh my God, he's teaching so fast. He doesn't really care about me. And I was like, you know what? I didn't come to college for anybody to pity me. And I'm going to really work hard in this class. And I'm going to show him that I do try hard and I do care about this class. And eventually he ended up being one of my biggest role models. He literally took me under his wing. He introduced me to colleagues. He started to get me jobs. He ended up giving me a 99.6 in that class. And I just thought that he had it out to get me from day one. And it completely turned the other way. So Momo, Rachel, Mike, anything that you guys had an experience in which you thought it was one way and it ended up being the other?
Definitely. Sadly, it wasn't as nice as that college professor story. I had in high school a friend who, like, I'd known the kid since whatever, 6th, 7th grade. And we had like a decent relationship, whatever, we were friendly. And then towards high school, we actually became really good friends. It was me, him, and a third kid who we were literally together every day for everything. Anytime there's groups for something in class, it was us three. Anytime we had a break, us three just went to hang out. Anytime we left school for something, it was us three in the third kid's car. So either way, we'd been friends for a while, right? Like 2-3 years was that group going. And one time I got into writing like horror stories at one point, just to test if I could.
Man.
What?
I love to check some of that stuff you wrote.
Man. Yeah. This is
send it to us, Momo.
Yeah. I probably still have it in the notes of my phone somewhere. But either way, so I'm like writing these things, and I found out that year at like the last day of school, literally the last day of school, one of my friends told me this. that he took my exact story, right? Because I sent it to them by text so they could read it. He took it, he changed 2 words, he submitted it into a writing contest under his own name, and then won and took all the credit. And he got like this little ribbon or whatever, this like acknowledgement award to put on his resume for college, like just hijacked the whole thing and never told anybody that it wasn't his and that it was mine. So yeah, you could say I was fairly pissed at the guy.
But when did you find out that how did you find that? Did you like see your story in the newspaper?
He told me months later because he got the award, right? And he was like, guys, check it out. And then I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, right. And then he just explained right there on the spot with me and the other friend, like our trio, we were together, right? And he's like, yeah, so by the way, I forgot to tell you, you remember that story you texted us? I was like, I'm gonna murder you.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna murder you, kid. But
you know, the reason it's rough.
that was the end of 11th grade. 12th grade, I barely spoke to the guy.
Well, at least
It's you could say the relationship fizzled off.
Yeah, fizzled.
So this is one of the things, is that the reason why, you know, we started the discussion today with this question is because oftentimes when we hear the voice that we think is our best friend and has our best interest in mind, as you heard with my story, I was like, no, this guy is totally stuck up. He's not going to be one that cares about us. Ruth's story, that her best friend then ended up really not having her best interest in mind. And Momo, who literally got his story stolen. You can see how the narrative is like, oh, this is good. This is my friend. It's the same thing with the voices in our mind. And in Kabbalah, we call it the voice of the opponent, which we'll speak about in episode 2. It's a very exciting episode. Don't miss it. And the voice of our soul, which is probably one that we're more familiar with. But today, and throughout this discussion, we're going to learn how to better identify which voice is the opponent, which one is the one that is kind of like pretending to be there to support us and be our friend and have our best interest in mind, but end up leading us into difficult situations. And which voice is the voice of our soul or our intuition or our gut feeling, and how can we identify those voices better? But don't worry, Rachel and Mike didn't share their stories yet. They're coming in episode 2. You do not want to miss it, where we discuss and open up the conversations about the opponent, this internal voice, and the voice of our soul, and how to identify the two. So join us for episode 2. And thank you, Momo. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Ruth. And we'll see you guys very soon.